Good morning, everyone. It is currently 8 a.m. I am on my way to Milton Keynes because it is show day. It is not my show day, however, it is my friend Derek's show day. So I'm just gonna catch a train from Euston. Got my meals with me in true bodybuilding style, so yeah, it should be a good one. Did my check-in shots this morning. Weight hasn't really dropped that much this week. It dropped, but only by like a little bit. So fingers crossed, food doesn't get dropped, but I have a sneaky feeling it's gonna get dropped. Caleb.
Hello there.
Hello, traveller. This is Caleb. We are on our way to see Derek. And this is Sunny. He is also on the way to see Derek. Caleb is in love with Sunny.
Oh,
He's out goal. He's with us.
I don't know. I can't. Yeah. Let me see.
Thanks, man. He has got one.
Right, guys, quarter turn to the right.
Leg day. Still training legs twice a week. It never gets easier, especially when you're in a deficit. We're nursing an injury at the moment. Well, I say injury. I've had some hip issues when I trained legs lately, to the point where my lower back and my hips, so my top of my femur, and also just hips in general, they hurt quite a bit when I train legs. It's really weird because they hurt not only on squat and leg press, but also on leg extensions. Trying to address it, I'm seeing Sarah, my sports masseuse, a fair bit to try and manage the issue. I've got some exercises to do, but there are also certain tweaks that I've implemented in my leg day to minimize the pain and kind of work around it so we can still deliver what they call quality stimulus towards the quads. Not so much an issue on hamstrings. Adductors slightly when I open up my hips. I'll take you guys through it. You might see some new things, some not so new things. On leg days now, I always start out with a stretching routine. It'll take around normally like 15 to 20 minutes just to open up the hips, the adductors, the gates, make sure that it's loose so I can go through the entire range of motion on each movement without my hips pain being a limiting factor. One of the things I've implemented on leg day is on my seated hamstring curls. I'm having a lot more control on the eccentric part of the portion of the movement. It's a really minor thing, not a big change, but what it allows me to do is minimize the amount of like lower back and hip involvement when I'm curling it down. I think a little bit of movement is fine. It's actually quite hard to avoid, in my opinion. But slowing it down just avoids that excessive degree of kind of movement around that area. The other thing I've implemented is this yoga block on leg extensions, because one of my issues is my hip alignment when I'm training legs. I've realized where on my every kind of leg press or squatting movement, my legs actually point out quite far wide. Normally it should be only a little bit or like straight on, but mine go out quite a lot. And what that means is it actually forces my hips to kind of compress and contract throughout the movement. And I think over time that caused that kind of damage, and hence why the pain around that region kind of originated from. Whereas the yoga block on the leg extension, what it allows me to do is I put it in between kind of my knees here towards the edge, and it makes me, basically I need to keep it straight. So I can't turn my foot out, because if I turn my foot out, the yoga block's gonna fall. So by having it there, it cues me to not externally rotate my hips even on the leg extension. I believe that's partially at least where the pain comes from on this movement. So yeah, if I keep it there by kind of almost internally rotating my hips so that the knees can keep them in place. We're not actually internally rotating it, but just so like the cue is to do that, so I can overcompensate for my natural instinct to externally rotate it, then that will help me leg extension pain-free. Some people put something in between like the adductors to help with knee pain as well. I more so put it towards the knee to help with hip pain, or that's what I've been told. And it's worked so far, so I'm running it. So, as I said earlier, one of the issues and fixes I've had to do was kind of externally and internally rotating the hips. On the hack squat machine I normally do, what that means is making sure my feet are as parallel as possible, as opposed to caving out wide. Because I have flat feet, I kind of turn them out wide so that my knees don't cave. But that's kind of like not the best of fixes because it doesn't target the root issue, which is the fact that I'm missing the arch in my foot. So now I'm making sure they're parallel, exercising more control, and trying to make sure that I maintain that arch whilst the foot is still like fairly parallel, maybe a little bit out wide, but nothing too crazy. Which definitely makes it a lot more challenging because I'm not used to the movement. But hopefully what that allows me to do is continue training legs without having too much pain. It's definitely manageable at the moment. It's uncomfortable, but manageable, and I can still get a lot of stimulus towards the quads. This is the only movement swap which I've made to my leg day. Before I was doing the linear leg press, but I think that put just a touch too much pressure on my lower back or the top of my femur and my hip, such that I was getting pain when I was going down, even though if I was like really slowing it down and making sure that I have no butt wank, my butt doesn't come off the pad, etc., it was still hurting. So I've made changes in the form that I've swapped that out for a hip press. Very similar movement pattern, but the path this machine takes naturally makes it so that it's a bit easier on that area of my body, and I find it when under control, I can do it pain-free and push to failure, absolutely no problem. I'm still doing unilateral as I would do on the leg press on legs on a Sunday. So still maintain the unilateral movement, but just a hip press as opposed to a linear 45-degree leg press.
You take the light with you and you go. You're not coming knocking on my door now. I try to lie, was it always so? Cause nothing feels the same anymore. I've seen this all before. Why didn't I do more? Now I'm picking up the pieces from the floor. How could we just ignore our problems?